Triple M NRL Journos show, Adam Peacock alongside Michael Chammas from the Sydney Morning Herald.
There's only one thing on my mind. It's pronounced Khawd, and we'll find out. Is Adam Doueihi going to give the West Tigers a Khawd?
Our cultural issues investigator, Michael Chammas, looking forward to that. Danny Weidler from 9 News.
Great sprays. A couple of interesting stories of, I guess, high-profile media people have given it to me.
Excellent. Here we go. Chammy, Danny, good to see your smiling faces again.
Adam, good to see you. Thanks for keeping us waiting because you're talking about cricket again, doing another podcast.
It was worth talking about this week, India,
Best
England.
story of the week.
It's incredible.
I'm just dirty that bloke didn't have to face a ball.
Yeah, the guy with one arm.
Yeah.
That was fair
The
effort.
fugitive.
Yeah. Did it even bring you in?
Yes, it did.
Jamie, watch something other than rugby league.
No, I'm a cricket guy. You know
He
that.
loves cricket.
I was supposed to be a cricket reporter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of league people wishing you were.
Yeah, there wasn't enough drama in it, so I went to league.
You
There's a
could've found
certain
some.
training ground at Concord who are actually going to get your accreditation for this summer, so you just go away.
Once you've got a
Anyway.
few tours.
Before we get going, though, I will make mention that Danny Weidler is the subject of much talk in other media organisations. Namely, it's usually Holt Street, News Corp. But this week, his lifestyle was described in great detail, and I think pretty spot on by the boys Tom and Eddie on Hello Sport.
Danny's to bed early. He's up early.
No,
doesn't
Danny's
mind
a warm
going.
glass of milk before bed.
Of course he is. And some porridge when he gets up.
Yeah, missionary socks on.
Loves a dressing gown.
Huge. I'm actually with him on that. I've been
No,
reckoning.
but
I'm
these
a
aren't negatives. I'm just saying while the boys are out bending, he's in a dressing gown drinking warm milk.
Yes.
Wetting the bed.
They have got that bang on. I can imagine you in a dressing
Did we
dressing
have
gown.
to start with that?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what that is, Danny? Do you know what that is, Adam? That is a Khawd. Never you seen one. That is a Khawd.
So now,
Did you?
hang
Have you
on.
seriously sat there?
I did. My wife doesn't know about it yet, but I even had a theme, colour coordinate Tigers theme. A good old fashioned
you
Khawd.
could sell those.
I might have to.
So why is that a good old fashioned? Give us a word again.
Khawd. Can you say it?
Khawd.
That's pretty good.
No. Give it a
Khawd.
Khawd, yeah,
Yeah.
it's really
Khawd,
good, boys.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what my lifestyle.
Mm.
I
Have no life.
do have a life,
Yeah, it's just
but
very quiet.
but is that okay? If I have a quiet, relatively,
Yeah, no, they didn't bag you. They said they didn't bag you at all. Honestly,
I don't drink. What is it? Hot milk before bed? Is
Yeah.
that what they're saying?
Yeah,
No.
warm glass of
that,
milk.
that sounds bad. Is that
Warm
a
glass
thing?
of milk?
No,
Good protein.
I don't think I've ever had that. I once had
but they nailed your personality, right?
that I'm boring. That's basically.
Well,
what
you
it's saying.
said it.
It's boring.
I don't have a dressing gown.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
You walk your cat at 3 a.m. in Bondi in a dressing gown and Crocs. I've seen it. We've all seen it. Khawd.
You know, Mr. Whatever you are, I don't have a cat. I don't have a dressing, but I'm happy for that image to be out there. That's fine. I have had a lot of people since their podcast sending in their nighttime routines of having a hot chocolate at night, pictures of people in dressing gowns. So to the boys at Hello Sport, thank you very much for enhancing my image as a boring nerd.
Yeah.
Producer Curtis, can we get some chat GPT happening with Danny with the dressing gown and the cat walking the streets? I think that'll be a great image to go with our digital assets.
You know it's going to be on those big screens on 360 when they bring up Danny. If
Mate,
we
it
do
can't-
that,
hey,
check.
I'll tell you what, it
Yeah,
can't be
yeah,
worse when
yeah.
they're putting up already. Danny Weidler 2003 version.
I can't help how I look.
No, you can't.
I was born with
You know
this
what I've
hair.
also realised? You're wearing the same hat that Tom and Eddie, or one of them, were wearing. What is this Motorino
It's
guy?
just a
that-
brand in North Bondi.
Oh, well,
And
they-
maybe obviously it's what the nerds wear, right? So they're nerds like me.
Oh, you've got him. Yeah.
they're nerds like me.
That's
Nerds all
good.
round.
That's
Eastern
good.
suburbs types.
Yeah,
That's what
nerds.
you lot are. That discussion got going on Hello Sport in reference to something that we will talk about a bit later on in
Okay.
terms of the extracurricular activities of rugby league journalists.
Yep.
They did a whole episode on it in
Yep.
their style, not our style, but we will get to James Hooper a bit later
Yep.
on in this program. But firstly, to your grandstanding there with your T-shirt on.
Yeah.
So tell us the background of this. You've done an analysis opinion piece for the Herald.
The background
on,
of the shirt? Or
the background of the whole.
Chammy, at the start of the year, did you think you'd be
Hand
writing
signal.
a
Mate,
in-depth piece
I tell you
about
what, it's been the best couple of days of my career. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. The amount of people who have been ringing me saying, "Are you actually saying Khawd on national TV with a straight face?" I'm like, I'm trying my best to not laugh because, look,
What is it? Succinctly.
The word horde actually means take. Like it doesn't mean anything. The word horde doesn't mean bad. It means like to take. Or if I had a beer and I was giving it to you, Adam, I'd say horde. Take it.
Yep.
But it's also been attached to a hand gesture, which is the equivalent of it's the Middle Eastern version of a middle finger, and it does have offensive connotations to it, and that's how I guess it originated. But over time, and I guess as the youth. I guess it's a younger generation of the Arabic community. It's been adopted and it's got this affectionate, playful undertone to it. Yeah. Whereas you do it to each other, and we saw the photo of Jacob Carraz before the game. He saw Adam Doueihi across Combank Stadium, and it was he gave him a horde. I described it in the article at the Herald. It was a bit of a part, I'm going to smash you later, part, I love you, brother. That's how I saw it.
Was it playful?
It's playful.
Yeah.
And now the Bulldogs fans would be given their fair share of hordes over the years. And the Bulldogs fans, I love them. They're passionate, but they are not afraid to give it to teams and to give it to players. And so when I was sitting with my family, I was at my parents' house, we're watching that game unfold, and we all started cracking up laughing because I knew exactly the moment Samuel Faina did it, what he was doing, because we know the Bulldogs fans are heavily Arab-based, fan-based. So he gave him the horde. Latu Fainu comes in with the horde, and so does Brent Naden. And I was laughing. And you know what? If you're going to give it, you're going to take it. And the ones who were offended, mostly, maybe there were some older people who might have taken offense to it, but who don't understand the younger generation, how it's become playful. But I think that the people who were offended weren't offended by the gesture. They were offended by the fact they were on the receiving end of it. And they've just copped it from the Tigers guys, who obviously have some Lebanese players in their team, Alex Twal, Adam Doueihi, Tony Suka. So I saw the funny side of it. I'm glad the NRL hasn't, they've obviously sent the warnings. They're going to have to do that. I'm glad they haven't fined those players.
Haven't breached them.
But they have fined Brent Naden for him following up after with a horde and some expletives in a private message that ended up on social media.
Silly to put on social media, but it's not
I don't know if he
even
put it on social media.
Someone did, didn't
Someone
they?
did.
Yeah.
Someone
not
did.
the worst thing in the world, but in this society, you can't do anything, can you?
Well, okay, what would happen if someone gave the traditional middle finger to the crowd?
Well, it's happened. I think they've been fined. I think Matt Lodge, 2021, while playing for the Warriors, gave the Gold Coast Titans fans the bird, and he got a $5,000 fine. So
I know it's offensive, right? But it's interplay with fans, interaction,
but so is like the C word. But it's some people in the younger generation uses it. They use it differently. The origination of that word is an offensive word, and there are other words and gestures that you can make which are, at the heart of it, are offensive, but have been adapted, and over time in the younger generation, they use it in a different way. Does the horde catch on? Is the horde movement a thing? I don't know if the NRL let them get away with it, but I can guarantee you it'll become a thing in the crowd even more now.
One of my favourite, it's not offensive in any way, but one of my favourite moments in player reacting with fans was Michael Ennis doing the Viking clap all those years ago.
Yeah.
I thought that was
semi-final.
That was unreal.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that Ennis had the guts and the humour to do it and copped heaps for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that wasn't offensive to me. And this, I mean, was anyone you know actually offended?
Everyone was ringing me. Laughing. All the guys in Western Sydney, a lot of the Lebanese boys ringing me, laughing, and can't believe that we were writing about horde in rugby league.
So have you sat around the fireplace with the family last night and you've got the kids involved in this little art project?
So is that a rude word or not?
That's the example, right? Okay, I'm sitting here laughing, but I can see the other side to it because I wouldn't be I'm not talking about this in front of my kids. I don't want my kids going around doing hordes to people.
Going?
My 9-year-old or 7 or 5-year-old daughter.
They will.
No, well, I live even further west now. I'm not in Marylands anymore. I'm in Glenmore Park. They don't know what horde is out in Penrith area. So unless we bring it to them.
I think you've started something here.
Yeah.
So when you have road rage in traffic, Chammas, are you doing that, or are you doing the traditional?
No, I'm not a road rage guy. So when my brother plays, he carries on, Johnny, in FIFA.
Right.
And he's always carrying on about, he always scores 45th minute goals, whatever it is. If I beat him in the 90th minute, he's getting a horde.
Right.
If I'm playing golf and he won't give me a free lie on a dodgy land and he shanks the next ball in the water, horde.
So
that's the reason. That's
So we're pointing
the
to golf
definition.
chat as well,
Yeah.
amongst other things.
Oh yeah, if there's some sort of free lie that I deserve,
Yeah. No, you don't
It's-
deserve.
you don't deserve- it's gotta
You
be
don't
in the
deserve
rules.
anything on a golf course.
you do.
That's the whole thing about
you
golf.
do out west. And if he wants to
Do
not
out
give it to me,
west.
he gets a khawd.
Do out west.
Johnny, if
I'm
you're
never
listening,
playing golf with you ever.
you wouldn't come
you've
out
got
west
that
to play
attitude.
with me anyway.
Yeah, I would. I'd go and play anywhere, but I'm not playing with cheats.
I don't cheat.
Yes,
if it
you
lands
do.
in a puddle, take it out of the puddle.
Well, that's a law of golf. That's standing water. You're allowed to.
If there's a root of a tree and it's sort of on there,
Too bad.
No, too bad.
no, bro.
Too bad.
We're not
Break,
copping that.
break a club or break a wrist.
Make your own rules and t-shirts, Chammas. Who you are today. By the way, Lachlan Galvin, was he abused? Like he copped it from everyone. I was amused by the fact that people would go and pay good money to sit in the grandstand and just wait for the split second. As soon as the ball touched his hands, boom, and they did it all
They're,
game.
they're passionate.
And that's fine.
Tigers fans are passionate.
But did it step over the mark at some point? Is that
Not
the,
that I
is
haven't
that
had
the
any
word?
reports of it being over the mark.
No,
or
I don't think so.
over the top. And I mean, we saw the hug at the end of the game between Jerome and Lockie, and I know that I think Greg Alexander said that makes everything that was said about the drama between the two not quite correct. Well,
No.
there was an issue.
Of
There was-
course.
and I don't know if there still is an issue, but there was an
I think
issue.
they're mature enough to get on with it. I did notice every time Lockie was tackled with a bit of ferocity, that it was a bit of laughter
Yeah.
from both tackler and Galvin.
Yeah.
So it was all playful fun to the edge of not getting out of
Yeah.
hand.
Do they hate him? No. Were they disappointed with the way he handled himself? Yes. And, mate, there is no
Consequences for his
clearer
actions.
indication of that when we asked Api Coruscant 2 days later, have you spoken to Lockie Galvin? And he flat out said, no, I haven't.
You know, and even Jerome said it, in the lead up to the game that why would he speak to him?
Yeah.
He's not part of his team.
No. If someone left your guy's workplace to go in a huff to work somewhere else, would you be calling them a day later or 2 days
Depends,
later?
it depends on your relationship with them, like if you're close friends with them or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if they were a friend, yeah, I would.
Chammas had horde them.
Yeah,
You know, the others, I found it fascinating. Everyone was talking about Galvin. There were so many other subplots to it. Like the Tyrone May thing's been overlooked. Like Gus pulled the offer to Tyrone May. They offered him, I think, $550 a couple of years ago to go to the club. And because Tyrell walked out on his agent, the Bulldogs pulled the offer. Then they went back in when he was left the Roosters again and decided that he didn't fit into what they do. So you had the May situation. They looked at Taylor before. They pulled an offer to Tyrone May as well. He was going to the Bulldogs. Then it ended up in the media. So the Mays had a point to prove against the Dogs. You had the Luai situation. Serraldo rejecting the Tigers.
there's a lot of history.
There's, and Brent Naden, former player. There's a lot of ill feeling between the two clubs, and it boiled over on Sunday. It was great to see.
It was best win of the Benji Marshall era.
Yep.
The Tigers are now on 8 wins. If they get to 10 and they get to the end of the season, the Tigers, they're obviously aiming for more. So they get to 10 wins.
Are you promoting Tigers chat here, by the way?
Yeah, I am.
This is very unlike you.
No,
Adam.
because I want to know how within the club, all the drama. Like, they're a soap opera, whatever. But in the club, the football department, will they get to the end of the season and go, we've had 10 wins. Oh, don't worry about all the other stuff. We're actually progressing here. Is that the
It's
feeling
decent.
within the club?
That's a decent
I don't think
result.
they even need the 10 wins, Adam. Like, they have improved out of sight, and they're still down towards the bottom of the ladder, and that shows you how bad they actually were. Like, they have improved. There are patches in the year where they lost the plot a little bit, but you can see what they're building towards. And I think that the season has been a pass for them. Look, I had them in my 8. I thought they might go a bit better, but they've still improved enough to warrant Benji getting another crack next year and the fans to turn up next March, be optimistic about ending the drought.
Look, I know you're not a Shane Richardson fan, right?
No.
And that's fair enough because I know you have conflict with him. But I think that what he's done is quite smart too when it comes to Benji. He's given Benji what he wants and what Benji feels he needs to succeed. And he's giving him every opportunity to fulfill his potential as a coach. So that if things do go wrong, he can obviously just take a step back and say, you had everything and it didn't work. But right now it is working to a level.
Are you saying it's smart because he can distance
Yeah,
himself
I
from a
think it
train
is
wreck, or
smart.
it's smart because it's working for Benji?
Both.
Both.
But it has
He's had a
worked.
bet each way.
It's worked for him. And like he's been around a million years, and I know you have conflict and you probably can't acknowledge that he's
I
done
just
this
said it.
quite well. He's done it quite well. So I think that he does deserve some recognition for that. It's going to be interesting to see how they go next year because they have to continue to improve because their roster's decent, isn't it? I mean, what did Richo say? The best spine in the comp when they had Galvin there. So
Yeah. And
So-
he also said that
Here we go.
Jerome Luai is
Here we
a
go.
Here we go.
once
Back
in a
into the line.
generation halfback, then tried to sign Adam Reynolds 6 months later.
here
But
we
anyway,
go. They had to be just like, what's that word?
I tried to call him on Monday.
What did he say to you?
No, he didn't answer. I was ringing him about the story about the Khawd.
Did you text him?
No,
as well?
I called him.
Okay.
He's been quiet last month. Oh, Richo.
He'll find a
I
podcast
saw him,
soon
I
enough.
saw him on the sideline.
Yeah. Great win for the Tigers.
It is
on
a good
them.
win. Well done.
Good on
Tigers.
Trainergate, Gold Coast, poor old Gold Coast Titans. Imagine if this happens in a Penrith Bulldogs game
Yeah.
at the end of the year. With all due respect to the Titans, I'm talking about a game of high consequence, which it was for Penrith because it keeps alive their top 4 hopes.
Massive
But
consequence.
Corey Bocking has copping a 5-game suspension, fined $50,000. Of course, Titans could have gone up 28-24, which would have negated Nathan Cleary kicking that 2-point field goal. And that was after the fact that Shane Elford, the blue shirt, stayed on the ground for the whole time. There's a trend here with Penrith. Gus Gould said about, it's a beat up, blah, 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 that if the trainer is not squirting water on the ball, he's not doing his job properly. Oh, yeah. It's a big story because it looked so bad. It looked so bad. It like maybe the optics of it outweigh the actuality of how badly it affected the outcome. I'm not sure, but yeah, they've got to maybe twist the rule somehow and have a no fly zone in front of the kicker or whatever.
Didn't we have earlier in the year where a referee, Chammy's not listening now, he's texting people. Didn't we have it earlier in the year where a referee mentioned, it wasn't spirit of the game, but he mentioned words similar to that effect during a game to alter the decision. And I just thought, given what happened, I would have liked him to have a shot in front of the goals. To say, look,
I think that's
was
the
out of
answer.
line.
But just make up a rule.
Well, but spirit of the game. I would have liked
just
to see,
make it up.
But
Could you imagine the drama about if the
could
ref
he-
just said, help?
could he have penalised him?
Hang on, mate. I'm just going to bring in you just take a kick from in
There's
front.
no
you know what?
rule.
If you miss one from in front, have
There's
3
I
of
know
them.
there's no
no
rule,
rule.
but I'm just saying,
No.
like, couldn't you invoke something and say, well,
Yeah,
this is
but
not
then-
in the spirit of what's
Unless
the
Peter
game.
V'landys is refereeing, you can't just make it up.
or give him another shot. Give him another shot.
Have Penrith got an issue with all of this? They're too competitive?
Give him another shot.
If I said they're too competitive, you can't be too competitive in
Yes, you
rugby league.
can. Yes, you can.
I think if I told you last week that we're going to be talking about Corey Bocking and Khawd next week, would you have looked at me and said, what sport are we
That's
talking about?
madness, isn't it?
It's hilarious the way it's panned out.
I think it was an accident, though. I don't think he did. I don't think
know what?
he did on purpose.
I got a view on it. I think they deserve to be punished, Penrith. I'm not going to sit here and criticise him for doing it intentionally, especially when the NRL haven't come out and said he's done it on purpose. They fined him or the club as though they're basically saying it's intentional with a $50,000 fine, but they're not saying it. Now I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it wasn't intentional.
His reaction to me showed that he didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, deep down, I don't think he did,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean
It doesn't mean it's right.
That doesn't mean you don't have a responsibility as a trainer to know the rules. So he's made a mistake.
Yep.
Yep. Are you punishing him for making a mistake or are you punishing him for cheating? And
Well,
the
they
$50,000
have to punish
fine
him for making a mistake.
looks
They
like you're
can't-
punishing him for cheating.
But they have to have it that it's a mistake.
Well,
Because they can't prove it's cheating.
correct.
but it's second.
But they're
Second
still
offence.
fining him though, like he's cheating.
It's second offence for the club.
It's
So
the
that's
6th offence for the club since 2021.
Okay, but like this year, one that's really memorable.
Yeah, I'm not saying they shouldn't be fined. I just think
Publicised.
$50,000,
Yeah.
you can knock someone's head off
Mm.
and get $3,000 fine.
Yeah.
Like I think $20,000, 2-game ban, 3-game ban would have been sufficient. I think they have gone over the top. And I'll give you a bit of context to what was going on at the time. So, obviously, what the Panthers were trying to do was make a sub. They were going to bring Isaiah Papali'i onto the field to replace Moses Leota.
Mm.
As that's occurring, the Titans have the ball. The Titans go down the other end of the field and score. The decision is then made by the club. Well, we are now in a situation where our game plan has changed. Let's not get Leota off the field for Isaiah Papali'i. Let's get Schneider off the field, who was playing hooker at the time, and then move Kenny back to hooker because we needed better service out of dummy half in case we needed to kick a 2-point field goal. And who's the guy who threw the pass that Nathan kicked
Kenny.
the field goal from? It was Mitch Kenny.
Who called the play? The
So what
trainer.
was going on at the time, Penrith are getting messages out saying, don't get Leota off, because that was the message, get Snyder off.
Hmm.
And in that confusion, Corey Bocking is obviously talking, signaling at the bench or whatever it was, and then lost his bearings of where the kick is being taken
And just bolted.
and bolted from the field. That doesn't mean he shouldn't be suspended or fined. But is the fine reflect the punishment here? Because I just think he has stuffed up. He's made a mistake.
They have stuffed up, but it's like parking on a loading zone. Too bad. You shouldn't park there. So it's the same with this. It's an accident.
But they're charging him with murder when it was manslaughter.
Oh, getting a bit full on here.
Well,
aren't
you
we?
went the loading zone. I was trying to think
Yeah,
of some sort of crime equivalent.
Typical
here.
him. He.
Oh, what's
kinda-
that? Are you bringing race into it now?
No, just you,
He hasn't
your
used that
personality.
word for- yeah.
You just go over the top with something. When I was
Extreme.
just
He's
trying to give a
extreme,
nice, like normal,
Well, loading
like
zone,
everyone keeps
loading
their
zone
life.
is terrible example.
No,
it's a
why?
terrible example. Because for a loading zone, you're fined $450.
It's not that. It's the fact that you've done something that you've
something wrong.
accidentally done when really you
Who
should have paid
accidentally
it.
parks in a loading zone? You deliberately do it thinking you can get away with it. No one's going to come.
You haven't paid attention to what you're doing properly, and this is what this trainer has done. He's not been paying attention to what he's doing properly.
What he's done, they've charged him with murder and it's manslaughter.
Do you know what I would like as the punishment, actually? If they go again, like
Yes.
they've got to, Shane Elford has clearly breached the rules as well. Now, I will say, context, how many other clubs that keeps their blue shirt out there?
which one?
Keep your blue shirt out there for a full set
when
of
he
six.
was, but even that argument, right? The rules state he has to be leaving the field
He wasn't leaving the field. He was like a traffic cop.
after the fourth tackle.
Nathan, come
So-
over here.
So
Mitch,
the
stand
NRL,
there.
I went to the NRL with it. They haven't done anything about it because even in that game, go watch the Titans. It happens.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't have it, like, okay, well, Shane Elford has been exposed here, but how many other blue shirts stay out there for whole sets of six? What I'm saying is, though, that Penrith have got an issue or two that they've been exposed on their thing. Would a punishment be, okay, next game, don't worry about who it is, Corey Bocking, you can't have a yellow shirt for the game.
No, you can't actually
Why not?
disadvantage well, you can't make a disadvantage for one team and not the other.
Well, because they can break the rules.
Now you're carrying like him, getting the referee to move the ball and kick another goal. You're just making it up.
You know who loses? The Gold Coast lose out of all this, don't they?
Exactly.
They get nothing. It's another loss for Des.
Geez, how do you parent your kids? You just give them chance after chance after chance?
I don't give them hordes, that's for sure.
Well, I reckon if you keep on going parenting them like this, they're going to turn around and just have that.
Did you know? I said they should have got. I didn't. I said the punishment didn't fit the crime. Okay,
The 50 grand.
the 50 grand.
But the 50 grand is 50 grand. There's no consequence to that. It was 50 grand. So what?
They win a comp.
Okay.
They get $17.8 million
Doesn't matter
from the
if they
NRL
win.
each
Can I borrow
year.
50
50 grand.
But-
Well, if you're going to give me $17.8 million a year, I'll
correct.
give you 50 grand if you need it.
Okay, well, I'll get a percentage of what you earn then.
What?
What is he talking
Makes
about?
no sense.
Anyway, I'm saying so. I don't think it was. Gus said it was the biggest beat up he's ever seen. I don't think that's
No,
fair.
there's been bigger beat-ups.
The NRL can't not do anything about it.
Mm.
What? What are you looking at?
No, you have to bring Gus into every conversation.
It's on the run
You're
sheet.
obsessed.
It's on the run sheet.
You are.
Quote, I think it's the greatest beat up I've
You-
ever seen in rugby league. It's a perfect
You are
example that
obsessed.
We're off to a break. Back in a moment on the Journos. Guys, big media story. Was it late last week? On the weekend? Was it? James Hooper, who we know, and he's written a long time for the Daily Telegraph, was most recently a contributor here at Triple M and also Fox Sports website and NRL 360. He has been charged with high-level drink driving after getting blowing .253 and crashing into some parked cars in the inner west of Sydney. I was interested, and we can't, look, there's no point in going into great detail. It's obviously James has stepped away from all his media commitments and has decided to deal with things that he needs to deal with. I was interested in how, firstly, the story broke and how it was reported from both sides of the fence, if you like, the Nine newspapers and that, and also the News Corp newspapers and Fox Sports. But Danny, have you got a take on all of this, firstly?
Well, firstly, people probably just expect me to stick the boot in to James Hooper. I don't really know James very well. I've known him as a journo for a long time, but I don't know him as a bloke. I've seen his work on Fox. I've had a few sort of conflicts with him. I've reported on him for incidents in the past that have occurred, sticking purely to the facts. I have a very different sort of style to James. He was more in the Paul Kent attack dog sort of mold where he would, say things about people on air and, get some sort of joy out of that.
He mixed news with opinion.
Yeah, which we all do to a degree, but just there's certain ways that all of us do it. My style is different to his. I would have no relationship with him. So it's probably the best way to describe it. My take on what happened, well, I think that, as I wrote in my column, I think that everything that took place in the lead up to that night, all the other incidents he's had were quite sad. And that's, obviously he's been battling with something. And that's, I don't know his full situation, but I think that he's obviously had an issue in the past and he admitted that and he's trying to fix that. So I think credit to him for doing that. I think that once he got behind the wheel of a car in that state, well, that's another matter. That's where if there's any level of sympathy, that goes out the window because that's when, he's crossed a line, basically. And again, I'm not going to sit here as moral police on that, but I just think that's where he crosses the line. And I think there's a broader issue here, which I've sort of been interested in sort of people talking about James Hooper as a journo. I heard, I think in part of his statement was that he didn't handle, not his exact words, but he didn't feel like he handled the pressure of the job. And I found that interesting. And that's paraphrasing what he said. But I also found interesting what Gordon Tallis said in a podcast when he was talking about James. I think it was on Braith and Asta's podcast.
It was before. It was like the day before.
The day before, was it?
Yeah.
Where Gordon basically said that James's strength as a journo were the stories he didn't do, which as a journo, that sounds unusual, right? But I guess as an ex-player, he appreciates that James knew a lot of things and wouldn't always feel comfortable saying them. So I guess there's a line that I think James must have struggled with that line of, what to report, what not to report. To be in the position that he was in on that panel is a tough job. I mean, Paul Kent had a tough job too, where he would have to give strong views on people, and sitting there and slamming people in a public manner is not obviously weighs on individuals. And journos are, people won't like me saying, but journos are human too, so they've got to live with what they've said. And while it might be easy to say those things in a microphone, to have the consequences of what they say and then have people come back at them and question them and have a go at them and deal with social media stuff that gets said about them, even if they say they don't read social media, you hear things. So I guess there's
anyone who says they don't read social media, read social media.
Yeah. I look at comments that said about me on our pages and I get absolutely fried. Yeah, but that's
as you should.
Yeah,
So,
maybe as I should.
buddy.
Hey, yeah, I'm not Robinson Crusoe.
I don't read
Little bit of
social
news
media.
for you.
Yeah. So it's just interesting to I think that I'm just speaking more broadly, handling the pressure of, I write a Sunday column every week, and I will tell you, if I've had a crack at someone or if I've said something that's going to be controversial, I don't sleep well that night, the Saturday night, because I know it's going to have impact on people and it's going to have a consequence for me. So there is an issue where you're a journo, where you write things and say things where there is a consequence for what you're saying and what you're doing, and it's just a matter of how you handle that. And I think James gave indications that maybe he didn't handle that, and it's a hard job. And I'm not giving sympathy for what happened that night, but in the lead up to it, obviously there are better ways of handling things, and we saw what happened also with Paul Kent.
How many yarns in a week, guys? I don't know if you can put a number on it. Do you not pull the trigger on it? And I'm not saying that you keep, the worst thing you guys can do is keep it from your editor, but in consultation with your editor to say, oh, look, this is going to this is going to get out of hand, or this is too hard, or this is going to ruin a relationship. So I just got to continue to work with that relationship and do the story another way. Like
I did it. Well, yesterday, like I had the video of Shane Elford in the background, and I showed it to the editors, and I rang the NRL about it before it came out, and the NRL had no concerns with it. So I decided that I didn't see the benefit in writing that story. What was it going to do? The NRL weren't going to do anything about it, but obviously doesn't mean that the story doesn't get written. Neil Breen, the editor, wrote the story and raised a very interesting point. Like by letter of the law, perhaps you can say that Penrith have pushed the boundaries, and it raised an issue that probably needed to be talked about. But I didn't feel like that was my role. I'm breaking the news. I'm doing the news side of things. I was working on some horde things on the side, and it didn't work with me yet to write that because I didn't have the NRL saying we're going to breach them over it.
But what about the pressures of the job, Chammy? I mean, I'm talking about as a journo.
Well,
like you're a younger journo, but
yeah, for sure. Like I actually go back to the Origin press conference in Perth when Billy Slater spoke about, and he was having a crack at Aaron Woods at the time. But what he said sat with me. It's sort of about how we're in a position of privilege, and we've got a responsibility. And he is right. And I look around to a lot of people who work their asses off in jobs on the job site, work in any form of life, and they look at what we do and think that's a dream. And it is. Like, we are very lucky to do what we do.
absolutely. Yep.
And if we are going to be in a position where and obviously I've tried to uphold this mantra that people care what we think, not what we know. But it's sometimes opinion and news, the line is blurred. So if we're going to be in a position where we are going to be critical of people, I've always felt like we can't be hypocritical, and you have to be squeaky clean. And this is where a lot of people, I guess with the hoop situation have taken, you look at a lot of the comments and call him hypocritical, because we as journos have to hold players to account. And when the shoe is on the other foot, people love to remind you of, okay, well, you said this, this, and this.
Yep.
Now, James has wife and kids, so
Yep.
I feel sorry for them, what they're going through now, like mortgage like everyone else. So, but you said it perfectly. He didn't just harm himself. Like, this wasn't, there's previous instances where you've reported of him missing commitments in Vegas because of his state. Well, he didn't harm anybody else. But in this situation, you get behind the wheel.
That's where you cross a line.
And he's lucky that it isn't worse than what it is. Like, I'm not mates with Hoops. He's attacked us for the last couple of years. He called me a lap dog. He called me your lap dog.
Yeah.
I would have been your lap cat. It would have been better. But
more fitting. Yeah.
I had a thing with him a couple of months ago when Gus and I went back and forth on 100% footy over Lachlan Galvin. He called me the next day, and
was that unusual for him to call you?
Yeah. I knew what he was calling me about and he said to me, "I've got good mail that that it continued on after the segment."
Yep.
He said, "I heard he gave it to you and he swore at you, and don't you ever effing question my?" I said, "Mate, Hoops, I'm telling you now." So I had no reason to protect Gus in that situation, but it didn't happen. I said, "I'm telling you, if you go with that."
And did he report it?
Yeah, he said that it continued.
Right.
And it didn't happen. And that caused. It's weird being on the shoe on the other foot there, and that caused me grief because Gus and I aren't friends either. But I'm like, well, is Gus thinking that I'm going out there and talking to people and saying that he's bagging me off air? Because it didn't happen. And what he said to me off air was acceptable. He said to me that you don't understand the damage that you're causing to the lives of these people that you're reporting on. And I said, mate, I'm not the one who asked to leave mid-season, brought lawyers into this. That's not on me. Don't put that on me. So I was disappointed with the fact that it was reported that him and I continued off air, and it got heated because it didn't. It didn't. And and Hoops went with that story. As I said, I feel sorry for his wife and kids. He's obviously got issues with alcohol, and hopefully he gets the help that he needs. But if we're going to be in an industry where we're holding people to account, well, people are going to take satisfaction. I'm not saying you and I, but you see the comments, the general public. They've taken great satisfaction.
Chammy, it's a brutally competitive business.
Yeah,
you know that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're at the forefront of it.
Yeah,
and people are going to have cracks at you, and it's just part of it. So I guess when you stuff up, like you and I might stuff up too. We have to.
Well, you interviewed Doghead on the weekend.
Yes,
but even with Kent, even Kenty's taken the piss out of himself with the tree on the logo. I love it. But Kenty hasn't put himself. Obviously, he had a few drinks that night, and he got in
21.
an altercation. But I think it pales into insignificance what could have happened with Hoops getting behind the wheel and crashing into the cars.
Yep.
Yeah, I will say his wife, who we know, she's also a journalist,
Yep.
Jess Halloran, Jess Hooper. She won a Logie on the weekend
Yeah.
with
Did
the
you?
Elena
Yeah,
Dokic
well done.
Yep.
doco. So
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah,
exactly.
well done, Jess.
Are you trying to win a Logie one day as well? Add that to you?
Best supporting actor.
Did we not win one for 100% footy?
Oh,
No.
I don't know.
No.
No, were we
Best
nominated?
Stink? Best stink.
I think Channel 9 won something for the Olympics coverage, so
Thanks.
maybe I'll just claim that. Are you a Logie winner?
3-time.
Oh, hang on. Well, hang on. Let's
That'll
go
do
into
me.
this. Let's,
You know,
let's,
that'll do me.
let's now, can we unpack?
T-shirt gets a
The
run.
Can we
Khawd
please-
comes out.
Can we please unpack this?
I've been part of 3 broadcasts that have ended up winning a Logie.
Have you-
I have
have you
had
ever been invited
about
to the Logies?
0.0001% to do with them.
Well, that means I can
Only
claim,
one of the 3 I
Does
got
that
an
mean I can
invite.
claim the old footy show days when that used to win Logies? And
When you were on them
Yeah.
before you got kicked off. Yep.
fantastic.
There you go. You're a Logie
I'm a
winner.
Logie winner too, Chammy.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the awards, boys.
You're here for the t-shirts.
I'm not about the. You know what? Some journos love. I'm not talking the Logies here, but some journos love to put in nominations for awards. Like they absolutely froth off it.
Walk
I
list.
couldn't think of anything worse than filling out all these forms and saying how good your yarn is and hoping to win an
I'll do it
award.
for
I
you,
did it
Chammy.
years
I'll
ago.
do
I
it
won
for
some
you.
sort of award, but it's too much effort. I'm not going to play
Well-
FIFA in my spare time.
The Hello Sport boys call you the Journo of the Year in that
Oh, do
podcast
they?
where they're talking about me being a milk-drinking catwalker.
I was with them in Perth actually, and they were mucking around calling me the Journo of the Year.
There you go.
Their point system must be as good as the Dally M's.
Random sprays. Tyrone May, Hull KR, and May was playing for them. They beat Salford 74-12 on the weekend, but he still copped a 2-game ban for questioning the integrity of the match officials. Tyrone, if I've ever seen someone barking up the wrong tree, I think that would be it. Go and enjoy life. Anyway, must have been pretty serious. Chammy, you shared a story a couple of weeks ago about Gus giving you a 2-hour spray. It had half time in it as well. It was
Yeah,
1 hour. We went inside, came back again. But great sprays. I love a good spray. And Tyrone's obviously given the officials
Spend
a
some
good
time
spray
with me
here.
on a Sunday morning. I normally get a couple.
Did you cop a spray, a verbal questioning from one Alan Jones once upon a time?
I've copped from Ray Hadley. I've copped on-air sprays.
Mm.
I've copped off-air sprays. Yeah, Alan Jones was a good one. Yeah. I wrote a story. I think it was in Sports Weekly magazine years ago. Must have been mid-90s, and it was in the days when mobile phones, like I know you know, they were just a brick.
The Nokias. Yeah.
I got a call. I don't know if they even had number recognition back then. And I was leaving. We were in North Sydney. I was driving out with my camera, my snapper, my photographer, to do a story at Cronulla. And he said, "Alan Jones here." I'd written a story about a player basically saying he couldn't coach, which well, that would go down when he was coaching the
Balmain.
Tigers or whoever it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Balmain.
I can't remember what year it was.
Early 90s.
Yeah. Anyway, I got on the phone as we were exiting the car park at North Sydney.
Mm.
I had it like I was holding it out like this because it was just full on. I did not get a single word in from North Sydney to Cronulla, and the only reason his tirade at me stopped was my phone went dead, and that was it for the day. It was that's one of the best I've ever had. But I've had massive slanging matches with like someone like Nick Politis.
Yeah.
He'll hate something I've written and just absolutely give it to me, like both barrels.
Yeah.
Then ring back 2 hours later and say, "What's doing?"
They're the best ones, eh?
Yeah.
The ones that just get over it.
Yeah. Oh, Richo's given me some good like.
I said the ones that get over it.
Oh, Richo during this Galvin stuff, he dropped a few words that you wouldn't want to hear before 8 a.m. on my lap at early one morning, and I'd said, "Richo, it's too early for that language." And then we continued on a few hours later. It was all fine, but yeah, as a journo, you absolutely cop it.
Most recent one you've got?
Too much water off a duck's back for you.
What do you mean?
You've got to be a bit more vindictive.
I'm not an angry
You got to
person.
be a bit more
like you.
Arab. Get more Arab in you. Get more Khawd in you.
I don't have that temper,
I
Chammas.
know it's disappointing.
It takes a lot for me to fire up.
Mm.
It takes a lot for me to get angry.
What about you?
Sprayed.
Yeah, last one. Last good one.
I had one with Richo recently, but
Richard's a
yeah,
common
yeah,
thing.
leave-
That's
like,
fine.
okay,
That's a
Richo-
common thing.
Oh, Gus on air was a good
Gus, yeah.
Just on here.
No, this is not recent, but it was the first one I ever copped in the industry. I don't know if I've told this story about Steve Crawley
one. No.
giving it to me, the great Steve Crawley at Fox,
Oh.
who I get along with really well now. But I remember I was at the Sydney Morning Herald, just started off, and I wrote a story about, this is in the days of when like Gem and Go, whatever they were called, just came in. And the Tri-Series in cricket was spilling into the start of the league season.
Mm.
And I remember looking at the calendar thinking, I think it was Para versus someone, Para Broncos. It was going to be on the same night as like potentially Australia-Sri Lanka final in that one-day series. And writing the story in the back page of the Sydney Morning Herald saying that Channel 9 have got a dilemma. Who is going to get the main channel on the opening night of the NRL season / final of the one-day series?
And this is when Crawls was head of Channel 9.
He was head of Channel 9
Yes.
Sport at the time. And I did the story, did well. I remember the editors the next day saying, great, we need a follow to that. I was like, well, what do you want me to do? They said, oh, maybe you can go to David Gingell, who was the boss of Channel 9 at the time. And I said, oh, yeah, I think Greg Pritchard, Lardy gave me his number. So I called him. I think he answered. I'm pretty sure he answered and we spoke, or his EA answered and we spoke. And then I wrote a story. I can't remember what it was, basically quoting Gingell, or maybe it didn't, whatever. I get a call that afternoon from Steve Crawley, not even thinking I'd done anything wrong whatsoever, because I'd spoken to Crawley for the first story. And Crawls, I won't be able to repeat some of the words. If you ever go around me again, who do you think you are going over the top of me? He absolutely, and I was like, and I was stunned, like I was ready to quit journalism. I was just getting pats on the back from the editors, good story, doing a good job. And I didn't, at the time, I don't know like the food chain. I don't know that Steve Crawley is going to think that I've gone over the top of him here after speaking the day before to go to the boss. And he is absolutely, I was rattled. I was absolutely rattled. Crawls gave it to me for a while too, like you. Like it may not have been North Sydney to Cronulla long, but it was, yeah, ready to quit long.
You dumb bastard.
Clearly. Clearly.
Ginge gave me a great spray one day.
Did he?
Yeah, I won't talk about the story, but I was covering quite a sensitive story at the time, and Ginge was involved, and Nine Personality was involved, and our newsroom was keen for the story. Like we had to still cover it, even though it was one of ours, and I chased the person with a camera up to the legendary third floor of Channel 9 at the time, which is where the execs were. And I went up to the door with the camera to David Gingell's office as the person was walking in filming. And Ginge stuck his head out. Said, if you ever effing come up here with a camera again, you are effing sacked. I thought, okay, I could be in trouble here.
Not your smartest move.
Not my smartest.
No.
move.
What an imbecile.
Yeah, I was.
Not even an imbecile, an imbecile.
Yeah, it wasn't the smartest thing I've done.
But people look at that and think, well, how ironic is it that someone who runs a media organisation is sensitive about where the media is going?
Yeah, well, when I was in his office, it probably wasn't.
So what was the? I missed that. What was the issue?
I'm not going to talk about it.
don't go there.
I said it's a sensitive subject, so I'm not going to go there.
Yeah.
But because you weren't listening, I'm not going to repeat that.
I was just messaging Ginge to see if he'll jump on because I heard you say that you had an issue with him.
No, we'll leave that for now.
Yes.
Player movement tracker. Let's get back to rugby league issues to round out this particular edition of Journos. What's happening? Merry-go-round. Update us, Chammy. Is it spinning out of control or is it just kind of gathering pace? Adam Doueihi, Dragons, Tigers, Ware, Trebojevich's ×2, Ware, contract extension at Manly. Where's that at? Any others floating around?
You covered it off really well. End of pod. Goodbye. Now, the Adam Doueihi situation's fascinating to me. Like, he was outstanding over the weekend. He's been outstanding for a while for the Tigers. His desire is to stay at the West Tigers.
Yep.
2-year deal on the table. It was originally a 1-year deal at $350, which was a slap in the face. And after the performance...
You listen to that, Richo?
Right,
another little drive-by.
Okay. Is it not a slap in the face? Is it not a slap in the face?
Right. So the Dragons are offering, $450 and the Tigers are offering him $350. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, it could go a bit more at the Dragons, but yeah, that's where it's at.
So probably a reasonable price would be $400, wouldn't it?
Well,
It's not a slap in the face, but it is a little bit low, yeah.
Well,
Like
it's
if
the
they
same.
If they'd offered him 200, that's a slap
It's the
in
same
face.
amount they offered him, coming off 3 ACLs.
Yeah.
He's since played 12 months, played really well,
Okay.
and they've given him the same figure.
Right, I understand that, but I mean they did take a little bit of a chance to give him the opportunity and give him that money when he was coming back from the injury. So
Here's the crazy thing, though. All that hard work has been done. He's come back from the injury. He looked like freaking Usain Bolt running away from a
how
couple
fast did he look?
Like he noted wet tracker. I know you guys aren't horse racing guys, but he just loved the mud. Absolute duck on the weekend.
If
Dewey,
he can get-
Dewey the duck.
If he can get 800 over 2 years or a bit more, that's a reasonable deal.
Yeah.
Do you think or not?
As a Dragons fan, I hope he goes to the Dragons. I've been talking to the
play
club
which
for ages.
position?
Well, they want him as replace Jack DeBell on the ball playing lock. The same will happen at the Tigers. They're not talking about halfback. Latu Fine is going to be their halfback long term.
Does he look good at halfback though?
We did look good at halfback, but he's a kind of guy that there's so much value in. He's a goal kicker. He kicks for touch for him. Like he's so much value to the West Tigers. And the other thing is, what you can't buy, and all these guys at the moment that the club that they're bringing in as recruits, you can't buy passion for the jersey.
Yeah, competitive streak, isn't it? There's
Well,
a
he
real-
cares. He's been through
Yeah.
the shit times with the club.
Yeah,
And he wants to come out the other end. Like you saw how much it meant to him playing against the Bulldogs
it would
the other
be
day.
it would be a smart re-signing from the Tigers.
I think they met with him yesterday, Adam, and
Yes.
and there was another push for like, is there anything else? And they said, no, 350, we're out.
They're stopping at that.
Mhm.
Wow.
So I was saying,
Well, that's
like
I
when you
think he's
pay
worth-
Royce Hunt 3 years, the guy's about to retire. And he openly admits he was going to retire until the Tigers came up to him with an offer he can't refuse, a 3-year deal, believed to be in the 5s, if not the 6s, playing reserve grade half the year. Like, it's
Yeah, then it doesn't make a lot of
well,
sense.
it's hard to swallow.
Yeah.
It's hard to swallow. They had the money for Adam Reynolds they were going to go for.
Yeah.
The thing with the Tigers is they're going to have to upgrade Taylor May.
Yeah.
He's on match payments right now, $3,000 a week, plus a train and trial deal.
Hmm.
The Simonson's one's interesting at Parramatta. Something's going on there. He's requested apparently a release to leave the club. They only re-signed him on the back of an ACL end of last year. And I think you'll find he was dropped a few weeks ago. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of that at the moment, whether or not he's upset with the club for dropping him. I think Sam Rani's been getting a go ahead of him. So, yeah, I think there's something might come out of that.
And the Trebojeviches, contract extensions at Manly.
I don't,
gonna
to be
happen?
honest, I don't think there's any rush. And I don't think they're in any rush or the club's in any rush. So, because they've made it clear they're not playing against Manly. Let the season play out, work out where he's going to be. Well, he's going back to fullback this week. If he brains it over the next 5 weeks, gets him to the final series, well, he's worth a lot more to him than he is if he spends the rest of the year in the centres and they miss the 8. So, you would just wait, wouldn't you?
You would. I don't think the solution of Tom Trebojevic at fullback is going to help him too much against Canberra on Friday night, but we'll wait and see.
The same Canberra that lost to my Dragons?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In the wet, though. They're anti-ducks. They're not wet trackers.
They're not
Canberra.
wet trackers.
They need a dry track. Down
Okay.
there in Canberra, they'll probably get it and put 30 on Manly. Coaching merry-go-round, just a quick one. Reedy said in this studio yesterday on Triple M NRL Daily that there are growing whispers about Des, the resurrection.
So yeah, I think Reedy's onto something. I think, look, I still wouldn't put my house on him coaching next year at the Titans. But from what I was told, that spray he gave on camera
At Leichhardt.
was it at Leichhardt? Yeah, impressed people.
Oh, excellent.
Impressed, and they've played okay the last couple of weeks. However,
So the guy's coached 500 first-grade
Yeah.
games. He's won comps. He's done what he's done. But because he lost his rag at a couple of players,
apparently
all of a sudden
it showed the passion. And look, I still think there's going to be a conversation at the end of the year and see where things are at. And I think they want to treat Des with respect. But I think Reedy was right. There are whispers of a slight softening towards him. I would say. I wouldn't say it's over the line though yet.
we on track for mass changes, Chammy?
I think Todd Payton's probably gone to the top of the power rankings of coaches under pressure, hasn't he?
Yeah, look, I wrote a piece in my column a few weeks ago saying that the way that Jason Tamalolo was treated at the time has had repercussions for a while for Todd Payton, and that is the core of a lot of rumblings and dissatisfaction within the playing group. So whether that leads, and obviously their results haven't been good enough for some time now, and they've got a even you'd admit the roster's pretty good. I know you're a roster You know,
North Queensland.
yeah,
It's okay.
it's better than where it is.
It's all right.
They've
They've
got
got some
half-
Origin players.
Yeah, they've got some Origin players. Yeah,
Yeah.
they should be doing better.
Absolutely.
I've got
Totally
some
agree
breaking
with that.
news for you, Adam.
Yes, Michael.
You would like this one.
What?
From my colleague Vince Regari at the Sydney Morning Herald.
Mm.
The West Tigers owners buy equity stake in Up Your Leichhardt. Holman Barnes Group. They've moved into football.
Have they?
Yes.
Interesting move.
There you go.
Interesting move.
Google that. smh.com.au for all the latest.
Mm. There you go. Okay.
I'll read that.
Investigate that.
Mm.
Why would a rugby league club invest?
Well, it's not a rugby
Nicolaitis
league club. Holman Barnes own the West
Own
Tigers.
the West.
The majority owner.
What are they like?
The lease clubs.
Leagues
They
club.
own West Ashfield and whatnot. So they've come to the rescue with Up Your Leichhardt.
Have your mate Lee and Justin bought any clubs
They
yet? What are they doing?
They bought the Newcastle Jets
Mhm.
in A League. They've got, I think, an interest in America with a women's team that they're going to.
I can't
Dive some
disclose
money in.
information, mate. I've been sworn to secrecy. So whatever you have.
Worried about the lawyer. There you go.
I've been sworn to secrecy. But they did meet with R360 the other day.
Yeah, there you go. Chammy, good luck with your merchandise line, with your T-shirts.
I think there's a trademark on it already. But anyway, we'll get in there.
How can you trademark an insult?
I think I like the logo with the colours as well. It's got to be black and
I'd
gold.
buy that if it had Chammy's face on it as well.
Just for something.
I tried to do the fingers, but I couldn't draw it.
What about your face?
No,
I'd like to see your face on it.
no.
Just for those listening along at home or wherever you are and not able to see it, Chammy has literally got a orange and black texter and written the word horde on a white T-shirt.
I've also got this photo that I said I would get of ChatGPT, producer Curtis. It is the great Danny Weidler in a gown, walking his cat on, is that Bondi? I don't know what
Yeah,
that
that's
beach
Bondi,
is.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
Bondi. There you go. All right.
It's a nice looking cat.
Nice looking bloke.
Fabulous way to end this week. Thanks,
Crocs.
gents. Have a
See
good
ya.
one.